Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and in this video I thought I would go over what happens at night when the animals go to bed. Where do they go and what do they do? It's been a common question that's been asked in the past. I did do a video about a year and a half ago in November. It was more of a winter nighttime video, but of course in the wintertime it gets so dark so early, like 4:30 in the evening. In the middle of summer, you're looking at 9-10 o'clock before it starts to get dark, so I thought this might be a little bit of a change. Now, some of the animals apparently are getting ready for bed now. The equine, you can see Daisy back there. I guess she needs a bum scratcher. Daisy, what are you doing, girl? Got an itchy bum? It looks like all of her hair is coming off along with it. The alpaca, this is generally where the alpaca reside for the evening, don't you? Right by the door, so that in the morning when feeding time comes, you're first in line. And then of course they look like all alpaca do through a window with that confused, strange look on their face. Now, the pigs and sheep, the sheep generally like to come into this area here. Turbo was actually just lying here. Bronwyn is right by the doorway, which when Piper came in, she had a hard time getting in. And of course, Turbo was in his spot, or her spot. So I can see Turbo is just kind of settling into the new location. Petey's still out, so are the goats. Some of the goats are out in the field still grazing, and the other ones are just kind of lounging in this area here. So it's currently 20 after 8 in the evening, and this is what it kind of looks like at about this time. So I was out here earlier taking some photos, and we do have all this greenery on the pond. And this is all duckweed. So it multiplies fairly rapidly. We have quite a bit of it on here now. It looks like they are, the ducks, meaning, are not eating it quite as fast as it's growing. So Petey was over in this area right here earlier today, and he was in there eating that duckweed. So he has been taking advantage of all that extra greenery. It's got lots of protein in it, so he quite enjoyed that. Hey, Petey, your girlfriend's in bed. So he'll head off to bed shortly in that same area. What do you want, buddy? And then what do these guys do? So these Muscovies, now I did mention in one of the other videos the Muscovy duck, which is what they're referred to. Technically they're not really a duck. They're not really a goose. They're kind of a hybrid. They're their own kind of species. They don't quack, like the females don't quack, and the males don't have. They've got this rasp, kind of like they're talking, and they bob their head. Different than drake ducks do, or male ducks. They're also quite a bit larger than the male drake, and they're actually fairly friendly, aren't you? Yeah, you guys are very curious. What's going on? Oh, maybe Petey's just gonna spend the night out here tonight. You gonna sleep under the stars there, Pete? Oh yeah, long day. Moira, it's amazing on how much smaller she is than George. So Moira came in a year and a half ago, and she's about 4 years old now, I guess. And she is, when she's beside George, which is just over a year old, she is just tiny. Hey, George. So George is sitting here. You can see him chewing away. And I went over this in a previous video about their chambers. So sheep and goats are chambered animals. And what that means is they've got 4 chambers in their stomach. And he just swallowed, and now he's going to burp up. Wait for it. There it is. So what he does is he chews the material. They go out and they graze. It goes into their main stomach area. It's kind of a storage area. And then when they sit down and relax and chew their cud, which you've probably heard that term, what they do is they bring up that material, they reprocess it, and then they swallow it down where it gets filtered through into the next chambers of the stomach. So that's what he's doing. He's chewing his cud. Hey, Coco? Did you already chew your cud? It's cute when you see the little ones doing it too. Oh, it looks like there's some feeding that is about to... They're circling. Are you guys circling Mom as if you're going to get some food? It's funny because sometimes they've got it on the brain and there we go there. She's going to... No, and Mom says no, not yet. So... she will feed them until the pressure is off of her udder, and then at that point she's like, no, you don't need any more, or until they get to a certain size. Now these guys are, wow, 3 months. April, May, June, July, 3 months old now. Wow, time flies. So there's 6 kids this year, and this is Baxter. Hi, Baxter. And his sister, April. We were calling her Shelby in the beginning. Ooh, and there she goes. But the new owners have named her April. Now, she was born in April, so I guess that makes sense. So speaking of ducks, you can see here the difference in the two. So we have a drake, or a male, on the left, and a duck on the right, or a female. And he has the wah, 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 and then she kind of has that loud quack. If you listen, let's see if we can get him to... Oh, there we go. Whereas the Muscovies have the more of a rasp. Hey, bud. Are you all raspy? And of course the mass kind of sets them apart. I don't know what they're really chewing on here. There's not much on that bush. What are you doing, Billie Jean? Is there... It's just the bark? Oh, Petey. It looks like Petey's going to bed. And of course, he makes a big deal of it. He's got to let everybody know. So where was I before I got distracted by Petey? We have Billie Jean, and she is probably just chewing on the bark. Those the little leaves? Is that what it is? The little leaf stems? Huh? Okay, well, I guess a little bit of roughage. That's good. They know what they like. Now, Billie Jean is Petunia's little kid from last year. And Petunia's over here with a bunch of the kids. So Petunia's here, and her 2 kids are Melvin, which is this lighter colored one here, and Molly, which is over here, a little bit darker. And then of course we've got Blackie as well. So they're over here just kind of cleaning up this area. We cleared out this area and trimmed everything, and you can see the brush over there. So this is now allowing the grass to start grow over here. And then we've got some fertilizer in here as well. They're working the yard. And there's April there. So we have April, and we have... oh, that's not Baxter. That is Bonnie and Clyde. And Bonnie and Clyde is Blackie's little ones. So I guess I thought that was Baxter. Clyde is a darker brown than Baxter is. So here is our inside pen here. We've got this, we've got netting up top that we've got going over just to keep the birds in, predators out. This is where the peahens are. So there's 2 peahens. You can see one right there. And then we've got the chickens. So we've got the chickens. They don't have their wings trimmed. And what that means is their flight feathers. So on the ends of the wings, you'll have a set of flight feathers. Let's see if we've got a willing participant. How about the rooster? All right, so I caught him. He actually wasn't very hard. This is actually a rooster, but he'll work just fine. Okay. So when you're holding a chicken, you want to make sure that the wings are held down so that they don't flap, and that's what usually scares a lot of people. Let's see if we can do this without. All right, so here you can see these ones. You can see these ones here on the end. These are called the flight feathers. And what you do is you would just cut them back to this line of secondary flight feathers here. You would just cut that off right there. And what that means is when they go to take off and they give it that shot, they don't get that jump, that good takeoff, because those feathers are missing. And these ones are fairly rigid as well, as opposed to some of the other softer and smaller feathers. Well, I've got them in my hands here. Another good thing is parasites. So we treat all of our animals here naturally. We use diatomaceous earth, or DE, or fireplace ashes. And you'll often see there's a couple holes in the ground over here, but sometimes you'll see a chicken kind of rolling and wrestling in the dirt, and what they're doing is they're actually bathing. Now, to check to see if your birds have any parasites, what you do is you just lift up the wing and you basically check underneath their armpit. That's the warmer area, so you just have to move. It's a little hard to see, but you just move these little feathers out of the way so you can see the bare skin. And if you see any parasites, that's likely where they're going to be. He is nice and clean. There's no concerns there. Hey, bud. What that can do is, if they have parasites, they draw the energy out of the bird, essentially. And you'll sometimes see that maybe there's a bird that's just not acting right, and it's just kind of got no energy, and it's not doing much. That's the first thing you want to do, is you want to check for parasites, because they can just draw the energy right out. And if you do find them, get a container large enough for them. Dump some ashes in there, put them in it, get it underneath their wings all around, and then maybe put them in an isolation area. Check all the other birds, and then take that container and put it out in your chicken coop, maybe with fireplace ashes. And what they'll do is they'll go and they'll jump in it and they'll bathe as they need to. All right, you want to go back to your family? Of course you do. All right, we'll just put them down there. Now, a few other ones that are in here, you will see there are some guinea fowl in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm guessing the other 2 are probably inside there. Now, what's happened is we had a phone call message. I think it was a phone call. Somebody called and said one of the guineas got hit on the highway. So Tara went out, and we do have some guineas and some ducks, which is why these ducks here are in here in this isolation area, because they were hanging out on the ditch, and they were getting bugs and all kinds of stuff in the ditch, and they would get up close to the highway. So we were a little concerned with them. We brought them in. The guinea, so when we got the message about a guinea being hit, Tara went and collected all of the guinea, and we had 5 of them that weren't sitting. So we've got some guineas that are sitting in the bush here and there. 5 of them were kind of free ranging, and we have all of our 5. So we were a little confused there. We thought, well, maybe one of the ones got up, and then we got a message on Facebook that somebody else, actually just down within a mile from us, lost a guinea, and they can't find that guinea. So it could have been their guinea that got hit by a car, but for precautionary reasons, we want to make sure that these guys are in. They have wandered and they've gone across the highway a couple times, and we want to just make sure that that's not going to happen, because, you know, they're safe as well as people driving by. If you're driving and you swerve, and you roll the car, heaven forbid, then you know it can cause a lot of injury, even death. Now, if you are driving and you see an animal that's on the road, of course, the most important thing is not to swerve. You know, apply your brakes evenly, but go straight because your safety is more important. So I'm on the other side of the pen now, and this area here is where we had our chickens. And you can see there's a door right there. But in moving some things around, what we've actually done is we've removed the netting because we were building this. And the birds can actually, the guinea and chickens can actually jump up onto that. So we're gonna have to figure out something. We may need to run the fencing across here and over. But we want to close this area back in again. We're definitely going to have to do okay, there we go. There's a little hole. Somebody's house. Somebody's going to bed. As I was saying, we're definitely going to have to do something here to close that off and to clip their wings just to make sure that they don't get out. Now, we do have some other ducks up here, but they stay up here. They don't go on the highway, so they're pretty good about that. But there is a pond back there, you guys. Like, there's a huge pond with duckweed. They just prefer to be up here. We put them back there, they come up. So the male, you can kind of hear him. And then there's a female there, and there's another female over here. Now these ones are our cayuga ducks, and somebody had mentioned in the comments about they look awfully, I believe it's these ones they were talking about, they look awfully like their Swedish duck, which they do. So we've had, I'm not sure if there's such thing as a black Swede, but blue Swedes we have had, and they look similar to this, and they kind of have like a bib on the front, and you can see that color, that white color that kind of, it's kind of sparse, just like that. But these are cayuga ducks. And I believe that one there is Kai that we had a few years ago as just a little duckling. Oh, and there's a quack. You guys gonna give me a good quack? So coming down our driveway here, I'm just walking down to the barn, and I figured I'd look for the boys as well. Tara has mowed this. It looks really nice. I was driving out the other morning, and it was just, she had just finished, or driving in after work, and it was just, she had just finished mowing, and the sun was at the right angle, and it just looked really nice. This past week, actually, it was on Canada Day. Happy Canada Day a couple days ago, and happy Independence Day for the Americans. Today, which is Saturday, the 4th of July, so happy Independence Day to you. On Canada Day, it was pretty hot out, and we unloaded, what was it, 400 bales of hay. I took a time lapse of that, and of course it doesn't take too long when you watch the time lapse, but it probably took us half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, and here we go here. So this, we've still got to move some of the hay and stack them up. But this barn here, if I recall correctly, it is 40 feet long by 20 feet wide. And we can fit, I think, about close to 800 bales, the square bales. Now we do have these ones out here as well. These ones go over our septic field. They're flax straw. So they've got flaxseed oil in them, so they do maintain their function for a few years anyway. They don't rot out like straw would or hay. So something else that people ask is how much does it cost to feed the animals, and you know, what does it take to start up a hobby farm? So the bales in there, you can kind of get a better idea of the size of it this side. But it holds about, like I said, about 800 bales, I guess, which is about the amount we go through in a year. But we do have another 400 bales coming, and they're going to be going down just by our rabbit hutch, just on the other side of where our stud goats are where their homes are, where their shelters are. And that is mainly wintertime feeding, because it's a lot easier to haul it from there and throw it over than it is to bring it down to here. But eventually towards spring we do bring it in. So we're probably looking at about 800 bales in a year. And you look at the price of these, we actually got a good price on these, but they range anywhere from $5 to, I guess, about $8 a bale. But then, of course, you've got grains, you've got other feeds, like for pig feed, you got alpaca feed and rabbit feed. We do have the grains that we make our own feed, so that helps out substantially. But you could probably add on another $500 for that, and then on top of that, any medical bills. So if you are planning on starting any kind of hobby farm, the best advice I can give you is start slowly and start small. We started with our chicken coop and 2 rabbit hutches, a male and a female, of course. And then we just kind of went along there and kind of felt it out, learned about electric fencing, learned about other fencing. But what's important is just to make sure that you're doing it slowly and you can handle it. Okay, so the boys are still in this area. And I mentioned in the last video, we should actually, a couple videos, we should get some sheep up here. We did get Florida sheep up here, but then she was only up here for a few days and her owner came and picked her up. But the, hey boys, Carl? The goats will generally eat what's on the tree. And they don't really particularly care too much for what's on the ground. They're not really grazers like sheep are. So we have Carl, and we have Choco, and I don't know where Billy is, but you can see Choco's up there, and and Carl's here. He's kind of pushed the tree down, and he's eating off of that. There's lots of food on the ground, guys. So we're gonna have to get some more sheep up here. But the question is, which sheep do we bring up? Now Moira, we don't want to bring her up because she is, well, she's under rehabilitation, I guess you could say. She was very scared when she first came in. So we want to make sure that we've got the hands-on communication with her. And then of course George is Moira's little buddy, so we don't really want to move him back as well. And then we have Turbo and Tinker. Well, they're really good too, so we don't, and Bronwyn. So I don't know, who is it? So I guess we need to bring in another rescued sheep to throw up here, get them to graze it, and then bring them back in to be worked with a little hands-on. I don't know. Last night, Tara and our son Braxton put this up, and they actually put the lights on it. So we have lights, and I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video when it gets darker. But we have these lights that right around all the perimeter fencing, and it kind of goes over that as well. We've got lights back at the greenhouse. We've got them throughout. So Tara is very proud of her lights. Hey guys. So Princess and Little Roo here. Oh, Little Roo was going for a drink too. No, denied. And Sheldon. So Princess is still a little shy, but Roo, oh Roo, you're a cutie. And he's really good. So when he came in, he must have been handled quite a bit, because generally if they're not handled, which is a problem we had this year, because the kids weren't handled that much because of COVID. So we weren't open to the public. Usually what happens is in the spring, we have people that come in and just sit with the babies, and oh, Sheldon, are you bushy? You're silly. Yeah, there is Little Roo's jumping abilities, and that's just a small jump for him. So Hazel, hi Hazel, how you doing? Are you getting pushed around too? Hey, So they like it up on this area here, and they just like being higher. Just stuff to play with. Right, Hazel? There's a jump. Okay, Roo, it's your turn. Let's do this. Give it your best. Oh, come on. That wasn't your best. Usually he jumps up about 3 feet and out. Fernando, bud. Are you trying to sneak up on me? Are you trying to sneak up on me, buddy? All right, here is a Muscovy female. 2 Muscovy females, actually. But they're quite a bit smaller. That's how you can tell. And their mask doesn't quite. It's not quite as big, and they don't walk around hasping or rasping all the time. I don't know what Sheldon's after. He sometimes just wanders around aimlessly. Don't you, bud? Are you bored? Are you bored? Oh boy. We don't put him in the other area for a couple reasons. He gets beat on a little bit. He gets picked on, which goats will do as soon as you put new ones in. But he's got the state of mind where he's not a fighter. He's just kind of happy-go-lucky, and the other ones will just take advantage of him. So we put him up here, and he's kind of our greeter when people come into the farm. Aren't you, bud? Hey? Do you want some of this tree? Their favorite treat is this right here, which is willow. You want that, buddy? Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh, yeah, okay, we'll just give you the whole thing. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, willow is what they crave. Now look at him, he's looking up. Where's the rest of it? Oh, now I've done it, haven't I? Oh, poor boy. So you can see how it's been trimmed right across here. Usually they'll jump on that table that's over here. Now if we go into the nursery area here, lots of grass because they're not in here, and look at how it just goes right down to the ground. Now I've got something to show you here. Another Muscovy and her little one. So hatched out a week ago, and just got the one. So this is it. So Muscovy ducks take, in comparison to other breeds, they take a while to grow up. So, for example, on a Pekin will be, hatched to full adult in 6 weeks, whereas Muscovies, they take almost 6 months to get to full size. So they are a little bit slower in growth. Woo! And they also, their incubation period is 35 days. So it's a little bit longer than your traditional duck or goose, but some geese are also 35 days, which is why some people talk about Muscovies being kind of more of a goose than a duck. But I look at them as being their own. It's kind of the best way to explain it, I guess, is they're a hybrid. Oh, ducklings are so cute. Especially when there's a whole trail of them behind Mom. So we've got a couple other ones sitting, as well as the Guinea, as I mentioned, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with them. And then we've got some roosters in here and some chickens, and there's Atlas. Atlas just kind of comes and goes as he pleases, but he's going to bed. And you can see that Henry up there to his left, or to our left, his right, he's going to bed as well, and we've got another one jumping up to roost for the evening. Here's the boys hanging out underneath their tree, and we've got Billy right there. So normally what they do is they've got 2 shelters. They've got one there, and then they've got this one over here. If it's snowy or cold or rainy, that's where they go. But generally, they'll hang out and sleep here. So they're not too concerned about that. They just don't like getting wet. and they're underneath the nice mighty oak that's here. This is probably the largest oak that we have on the property. So we'd like to kind of keep that one because we like the oak, don't you, buddy? And it's your favorite tree with your favorite rock. All right, so here is the lights at night. It's just starting to get dark, so Tara is, I believe she's watering down here. So these are growing nicely. You can see the peas now have come up almost halfway up our arbor here. So they're doing really well. They're taking off. Once they get rolling, things are going to start growing. So lots going on here, lots of beans in this area. They're quite a bit larger than they were last week when we saw them. And then our little carrots. There's quite a few carrots in there. It looks like they're packed fairly tight together, aren't they, Tara? Snug. And then these are the cucamelons. It's kind of a running thing. It's just so fun to say. Cucamelon. So here we go. It's like a little watermelon. Oh, can't focus on it. It's just too small to focus on. There it is. So a little cucamelon. Now somebody had commented that it's apparently a lime and a cucumber. A lime and cucumber taste. Somebody commented that said, well, it's not for them, but they grew it for the same reason why we're growing it, I guess.
It's fun to grow cucamelons. It's fun to say cucamelons. Do you want a little update?
Yeah. I was just I was looking for you. Okay. So we put this netting up here. Just kind of hanging down the center.
Cucamelons like to climb. And
they are climbing. So, okay, so what do you got for updating?
All right.
What's growing?
Somebody stole a watermelon.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So, we've been having chipmunk issues.
Somebody stole a watermelon?
We had Fernando the turkey issues, but we've closed off the area to him. Yeah. No turkeys allowed because he'll come in and he'll pluck these out. So
okay, and they're all flowering. So even the newbies, I just planted these ones like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Something like that. They're flowering.
Okay.
Okay.
And of course you want this we haven't done anything with, but she wants to get something else put up here so that they can grow up. So it's just these ones over here that we have that are growers, right? Or climbers.
Well, they're all climbers.
Well, these ones here along are, yeah.
Flower. Pea. Look at that pea pod. Yay.
There it is.
Oh, another pea pod there. Another flower. Look. Oh, I get to eat that probably tomorrow.
You know, if you grow it,
oh my God.
If you grow it yourself, you get so much more excitement out of it, I think.
Oh my gosh, there's tons of them. It's funny how they just jump up on
Yeah, no, they'll be growing in no time.
So I did notice when I was watering
that there were a couple beans?
No, there's a couple flowers.
Oh, okay, which will turn into beans. So.
Where did I see it?
Oh, that's just a drop, a raindrop.
Well, it's funny because everybody says, "Well, why do they look sad?" Beans at night cuddle up. Where is it? Oh, I saw it.
Now she's on a mission.
There it is.
Is it?
Right there.
Oh, okay, down amongst the peas.
Yeah. So, what else is new? Just everything's nicely growing.
Well, we had our first salad.
Yes.
This past week, so I came out and harvested some lettuce.
Yes, which he harvested wrong.
Oh well.
You'll learn.
Well, if it's gonna grow there and no one's gonna harvest it, I'm gonna do it, and probably wrong.
So when you harvest lettuce, you want to harvest the larger outer leaves, and leave the centers to grow.
Oh,
we'll still allow at the end of the season for it to flower.
I just figured. See, it's coming back. I snipped it. I snipped it right off.
Right off.
And that makes sense because when I did, the center stalk was a little tardy.
Yes.
So yeah.
We did do the leeks, and they were spicy. So the baby leeks were spicy, too spicy for me. Mm-hmm. But they're cute. They were neat in there. We started another tray of lettuce just because if we eat a lot of lettuce, we're
Yeah, I think the lettuce is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
These ones, I did try some of these.
Yeah.
So I grabbed a leaf and...
Well, you might want to wash the fly poop off.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm a country boy.
I'm very, very excited with the tomatoes. They're coming everywhere.
Yep, so tomatoes are going to be doing well.
There's flowers everywhere. They're loving these rabbit poop hutches. And I'll have to trim again.
Yeah.
Like I already trimmed up.
Well, and you did trim the ones on the end there.
I trimmed all of them.
Yeah, lots of flowers happening.
Pepper flower.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, frog.
Oh, frog.
That's a wood frog.
Oh, he just jumped in the... Oh, just let him. He's going to bed.
He's going to bed.
This video is all about going to bed.
Going to bed.
Going to bed. That's Ben, if you're out there, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
You know,
Go to bed.
him and his mom sent us a video, and we can't get that out of his head the way he says it. It's so cute. He's going to bed.
Okay, so again, they have doubled in size. This is the ones that I planted out here 4 weeks ago. I'm like, and they've gotten flowers on, like the flowers are coming on them.
Well, and she's thinned them out too and given away a whole bunch.
Oh.
So.
But we're gonna try, if so many tomatoes. We're not huge on salsa, but I would like to try the tomato leather.
Well, you're talking for yourself. I think the rest of us are good on salsa.
Tomato leather.
You're not a salsa one, but yeah. I like my salsa.
We lost a branch of the honeyberry, so I just stuck it in here.
Oh, okay.
And
oh, right,
still,
yes.
It's still going, like it's still alive.
Yeah, it's still
so
good.
It'll, we'll have another honeyberry.
I just saw a post on social media about somebody had to cover their honeyberry up because the birds were...
Birds come in and clean the whole thing. So we did, we netted it. No, it's exciting. I mean, this is not my gardening attire, this is my weeding attire. Huh! Look at this.
What's that?
It's a volunteer.
Oh, in the grass. Just
yeah. So I'll have to, it looks like a cucumber.
Yeah. I'll give them a chance and they'll grow.
Steal this. Yeah, but I don't want to whippersnip them.
Ah. Oh, that'll work. Okay, so this is your outdoor rock garden area.
This will be like the herb garden.
Okay.
So, well, minus the Saskatoons and that are growing. This is chocolate mint, and it is like it's trailing like crazy. So this is off the chocolate mint. Smell my fingers.
Ooh, minty and
Right?
chocolatey.
Yeah. So, and a couple of the weeds that I like. We're thinking this is a type of milkweed. Not quite sure, but it looks pretty, so we'll let it grow.
Oh yeah, and we did find the monarchs.
Oh, it smells
Yeah. The monarchs are back. That's
Yes.
something Tiana told me in our front garden.
Yeah.
We do have milkweed, and there are monarchs. So I did do a video 2 years ago, I think it was, on monarch. We brought some inside so that they didn't get eaten by the birds. And I did a whole time lapse with them. So that's a really neat video if you haven't seen that.
So the tomatoes are actually, they've kicked it up and they've actually started to grow in here. They trimmed them midweek. So all of a sudden, and that just means the bales are hotter. And
Yeah,
heat. I mean, it's been extremely hot.
Well, and what we've found is the bales take a few years, but with that that rabbit poop mixture, that is the way to go. So if you're looking at doing a bed, find a small farmer in your area that has rabbits,
or where the rabbits
and
in your yard
and
under a
go,
bush.
yeah, I'll go clean out their go volunteer clean out
And
their coop
It's straight,
or
like,
their hutch, I guess,
it's straight
rabbit
on.
hutch.
Yeah, so they're growing nicely.
But this is all a learning curve. This is the first year that we've got our greenhouse.
Now, if you go back, you'll see the Brussels sprouts at the beginning of the garden. We did them inside and outside because I absolutely love Brussels sprouts in the oven or fried or anyway, which is funny because I hated them as a child. But they're like, this one is absolutely like 3 times, 4 times the size of the one inside. There's a volunteer hollyhock. I seeded hollyhocks and they didn't take. And now they're popping up everywhere. Obviously, I used the soil.
And more peas over here. Now these
Yes.
ones are a little bit yellow.
Yeah, and it could be a little bit too much water. The heat,
Yeah.
I'll fertilize next week, but they've already got flowers and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
way younger than the other ones.
Yeah, so they do.
So,
Okay. Now, to tackle the heat, we did hook up this fan, which I showed in a previous video. We've got the temperature gauge up here. It's showing 24.2 degrees Celsius. It comes on around 32 degrees once it hits that point. And what we've done is a little bit of a change. There's an intake in here, but it was sucking out all the coolest air, leaving all that heat way up top. So what we've done is we took some shelving units and we made a ducting that goes from the bottom right up, and it sucks all of the air in to the top section
and
all
the
along
mosquitoes.
here. And the mosquitoes,
Look
yeah.
at the flies up there.
I know, yeah. They like it in here too.
Yeah, I'd say.
Alright, so everybody's kind of tucked in this area here. I went and I turned on the lights out here in the shelter, and I think I might have gotten these guys a little excited because Moira and George were actually over there nestled up, and when the light comes on, that usually means there's somebody in there, and there could possibly be some food. Oh, looks like the geese are heading back. Now, question here. You see these white birds. Can you tell the difference? One of them is not like the other. Wow, there's a few of them. So we've got a Czech goose, we have a Chinese goose, a Czech goose, we have a Pekin duck, and a Czech goose. So this Pekin duck just hangs out with the geese. I guess he's been with them so long, he just thinks he's a goose. Well, he's the right color anyway, almost the right size. Well, the neck isn't quite long enough. All right, so going into the building, we saw the alpaca and sheep and pigs kind of getting nestled in. So we've got Daisy over here. We have Meadow there, and of course Levi. Oh, the noise. No, see, that's Tinker. She's actually looking at the door. Tinker, hey, I'm right here. There's nobody in there. My bad. And we have Petey, so he's kind of settled in for the night. Piper was still outside, so we got, looks like Turbo down here. And then the alpaca. So the alpaca just kind of hang out right in this area here where they were before, right, Chansey? Yeah. And then we've got the moms and kids actually now all in here. So there we go. There is the evening setup. Okay, good night, guys. I'll shut that light back out. Whoa, now that's quite a bit darker. We can't see anybody. Right, Marley? I can see your white face. All right, let's go back out. All right, guys. Ducks. Toby. Oh, look at this. I guess we've got two of them that just want to stay outside. Blackie's kids, Bonnie and Clyde. All right, good night, kids. Well, that's it for yet another video. I do have something special coming up the end of July, beginning of August. I'm going to try to continue my Sunday episodes, but I may be a little bit late on one of them. But there's a surprise in there, so I think you'll like it. So anyway, if you liked this video, please give it that thumbs up. It helps out the channel. And if you are not a subscriber, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. We do quite a bit here on the farm, different things at different times. And of course, our winters can be a challenge as well. So until next video, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.